So, have you ever wondered why people with millions in the bank are choosing to rent instead of own? And why, after age 50, that exact strategy could be the smartest financial move that you ever make? So, here's a shocking statistic to set the tone. The number of millionaire households choosing to rent has tripled in just the last few years. That's right. People who can buy almost anything outright are deliberately choosing to rent. So, what do they know that most people don't? Well, we've all been taught the same old story: buy a home, build equity, live the American dream. But here's the truth that rarely gets told. Sometimes owning quietly drains your wealth. It limits your freedom and it ties up the money that you could be using to truly live. Even Warren Buffett himself has said the worst investment is cash that just sits there unproductive. And yet he also warns us about tying too much of capital into assets that don't generate real returns. And that's exactly where home ownership can backfire after age 50. So today, I'm going to show you why the wealthy rent, how they use that flexibility to stay richer, and why making the same shift after 50 could actually protect your money, and it can also reduce your stress and massively upgrade your lifestyle. So don't click away, because this may flip everything that you've been taught upside down. So let's start with the myth of home ownership after 50. So we've all heard it: buy a home, pay it off, and you'll never have to worry again. But if that's the golden ticket to financial security, why are so many of the wealthiest Americans now choosing to rent? Now, here's what most people never think about: the hidden costs that continue long after the mortgage is gone. So, property taxes, for instance, almost never go down. They rise 3 to 5% every year, and that's compound growth working against you. What about insurance? Up 21% in just the last 2 years, thanks to more frequent storms and disasters. And the real kicker: owning in major metro areas right now costs an average 38% more per month than renting the same quality property. Now, that's like voluntarily taking on an extra luxury car payment every month just to say, own. Now, layer in the big repairs that always come with age, such as roofs, 25,000, foundations, 40,000, HVAC systems, 12,000. Now, these aren't maybes, they're actual inevitabilities. Homeowners over 50 are almost guaranteed to face them, and meanwhile, renters, well, they just make a phone call and it's someone else's problem. Take Jim and Carol from Seattle. They thought they were set for retirement in their nearly $1 million home. Then came the bills: $28,000 for the roof, $15,000 for foundation work, plus climbing property taxes. So instead of staying trapped, they sold, moved into a luxury downtown condo as renters, and they freed up $800,000. That money now generates over $40,000 a year in just passive income alone, which more than covers their rent, while they enjoy their own freedom. And that's the power of liquidity. Wealthy people understand this better than anyone. Now, here's what they know that most don't: owning a home locks your wealth into bricks and drywall. Renting keeps your money liquid, working, and multiplying. Now, did you know that 67% of ultra high net worth individuals rent their primary residence in big cities? Not because they can't buy, but because they know the opportunity cost of tying up millions in a house is absolutely enormous. Look at Michael from Denver, a business owner worth $15 million. Now, he rents a penthouse for $8,500 a month. Why? Because the money he would have sunk into buying instead earns him enough to pay rent 3 times over, while keeping his wealth actually growing. So that's a textbook example of why flexibility beats ownership when you've already built wealth. And this isn't just about lifestyle perks. Renting can protect you from risks that you might not even be thinking about. Let's talk taxes. Property taxes alone are basically a wealth tax on homeowners. The average American pays $3,500 a year, and in high value areas, it can easily hit $15,000 or more. Renters avoid that entirely. Then there's estate planning. Real estate complicates inheritances, creating disputes and forced sales. In fact, 73% of estate fights usually involve real estate. Renters, well, they leave liquid assets that are simple to divide, efficient to transfer, and immediately useful to their heirs. Now let's address the hidden wealth killers of owning after 50. Well, maintenance grows more aggressive as both you and your home age. Plumbing fails, electrical systems need updating, accessibility upgrades like stair lifts or ramps, easily $15,000 to $45,000. Now, these are mandatory costs that deliver no return. Meanwhile, had that same money been invested at even 7% return, it would double every 10 years. Now, here's another angle that people ignore: health emergencies. So if you suddenly need liquidity for medical care, homeowners often face two really bad options. Either take out a high interest equity loan or sell under pressure. Renters, well, they keep their assets liquid and available immediately. That can be life changing. And let's not forget the market risk. Housing downturns like we're going through right now, well, they can trap homeowners in underwater mortgages or force them to sell at massive losses. The 2008 crash, if you remember, wiped out $7 trillion in home equity, and older homeowners were some of the hardest hit. The wealthy protect themselves from that trap by renting, keeping their money diversified in investments that historically outperform real estate long term. Now let's flip to the lifestyle side. Well, this isn't just about avoiding pain, it's about maximizing joy. Renting in high-end communities means access to amenities. Homeowners pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to actually build. You've got concierge service, 24/7 security, gyms, pools, spas, you just name it. You can test drive entire cities, move closer to the grandkids one year and the beach the next. Robert and Linda from Phoenix rented at 58 and now rent wherever they want: Austin, Sarasota, Santa Fe. They're living their adventure while their money actually grows. And that, my friends, is freedom. And here's a detail that most people miss: renting lets you adjust as your lifestyle changes. Downsizing becomes effortless. Need less space when the kids are gone? Move into a chic apartment. Want more space when the family visits? Upgrade for a year, then shift down again. Homeowners are stuck with what they have, while renters keep their lives flexible. Now, that flexibility isn't just financial, it's emotional too. You can avoid the stress of endless repairs, unpredictable markets, and the anchor of being tied down to just one location. So, how do you make this strategy work for you? Well, it starts with timing. If your market's at a peak, well, that's the perfect time to sell high. Bank the equity and transition to renting. Take that freed capital, say $500,000, and invest it conservatively at 6%. Well, that's $30,000 in annual income, often enough to cover your rent entirely while your principal keeps growing. And here's where the mindset shift comes in. So for generations, renting has been sold as failure. But after 50, strategic renting, well, it's actually a sign of financial sophistication. It's how the wealthy keep their freedom, their flexibility, and their working capital. Even Berkshire Hathaway's Warren Buffett's company rents its headquarters. So if the world's most successful investor sees the power of flexibility, why shouldn't you? So the question is simple. Do you want to be house rich and cash poor? Or do you want to live with freedom, liquid wealth, and the ability to adapt as life changes? After 50, renting might be just the smartest, most liberating financial move that you can ever make. So once again, thanks for watching. If this opened your eyes, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and share this video with someone who needs to hear it. And in the meantime, Have a wonderful day, my financial warriors, and I'll see you on the next one.